In the unlikely event you run into an error code 18 on the D-series heaters, and I can honestly tell you I've not seen that or encountered that myself, but if we have one, we got a couple different checks that we got to do. Voltage checks, we got to do gas pressure. So even before we power up the appliance, I've got my gas turned off, and my manometer tubing is connected to the inlet pressure tap on our gas valve. The working range, we need to be between 5.5 inches of inlet pressure and 14 inches, and that's a static number before the appliance is turned on. So as I turn on my gas, our manometer reading is going to reflect somewhere between that 5.5 and 14 inches of gas pressure. If we have the pressures we need, we can proceed forward with our voltage checks. When I turn on the water heater here, we're going to hear it go through the sequence, the sparking sequence. And for this test, I actually have my gas valve turned off so that I can measure my voltages throughout this period. Okay, so my test leads, we're going to take one to a ground terminal. Actually, the ground wire, it's going to be the common, the yellow wire. The other test lead is going to go to the red, which is supplying 24 volts to my gas valve. So I'm going to unplug yellow, which is common, goes to one test lead here. My red is my other test lead here, and we should measure between 22 and 27 volts AC once we're sparking, okay? So my 27, 26.9 volts, so it's in the range. I'm going to plug my red wire back in. That's supplying power to my pilot valve. My yellow wire is my common. So when I turn my gas valve on, we're going to hear a pilot light. And at that time, I've unplugged my brown wire. To turn on the main burner side, or the big burner if you will, I need the same 22 to 27 volts on the main valve side. So one test lead to the brown. I can actually go to the ground lug on the gas valve itself. I should have that same 22 to 27 volts. And in this case I do, which should mean the water heater is running. So to kind of clear all this up, our gas pressure, if we're between the 5.5 and 14 inches of inlet pressure, that's where we need to be. If our voltage to the valve is both 22 to 27 volts on the pilot and the main valve at the appropriate times, you have what you need, it should be working. You change the gas valve if you satisfy those requirements and it's not working.